Hey guys, I am Pixel Dan, and today we're gonna be checking out the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Slash and Leatherhead 2-pack from NECA Toys. That's right, we got another one of the new box sets based on the appearances from the original animated series. This is one I've personally been very excited for because we've got some new guys here. Specifically, we've got the cartoon version of Slash, which is very different looking than the vintage toy version of Slash that's always stuck in everybody's head. So it's a really unique looking action figure. I'm excited for it, but also we've got the animated version of Leatherhead. Of course, you might already have the Turtles in Time version. I have it also, I still have to open it, but we're gonna go and take a look at this particular 2-pack here today. This is one that NECA put up for an open pre-order on their website, though by the time I'm posting this video, it's probably getting close to ending, but just in case, make sure you guys head over to the NECA store. I'll make sure I link it down below, just so you guys can jump in on the pre-order if you haven't already, which is awesome, because this has been at Target, but it's been a bit hard to find, so it's really nice that NECA's doing the open pre-orders to make sure everybody can get one if they want one. So it's a nice window box, just like what we've seen with the other figures. I love we got this artwork down here at the bottom of the animated Slash and Leatherhead. You can see tons of accessories in there. Also, I don't know if you guys noticed this, there's like a piece of tissue paper like inside the box stuck to Slash's head. I don't know what's going on there. Weird factory thing, because this is a sealed box. So that's I don't know, kind of funny. Good thing I'm not a minted box collector for this. I'm ripping this open. The back, of course, has got some nice images of the figures, as well as having an explanation of who the Ninja Turtles are, in case you guys need that. So let's go ahead and rip this box open and get a closer look at the figures within. So real quick, it's worth noting, out of the package, you do need to assemble the tail for Leatherhead, because it's often just with all the accessories in the box. You'll just see it's a ball joint there. This is very sharp. I mean, he's got some very, very spiky tail spikes there, so be careful with that. It's going to poke you in the hand, but you're going to have to just kind of work it onto that ball joint there. If you need to, you can always use the hairdryer method. Low setting, kind of warm up the plastic a little bit. It'll soften it up. It might make it easier to pop on, because I am struggling a little bit here, but we will get that popped into place, so that way our Leatherhead is ready to go. Alright, so since we just put that tail on Leatherhead, let's go ahead and start with him. I'll bring in the tape measures so you can see that he stands right at about 7 inches tall, but he's a beefy boy, and of course he's got this big tail sticking off the back here as well. So look, if we measured from the tip of his tail to the tip of his nose, that's like 6 inches right there, like in depth. And he's just big and hefty. I mean, you can see him in my hands here. So he's one of the larger villains that has been released from NECA so far, but it is really cool. I mean, he just feels like a nice, solid action figure. Of course, this is inspired by his appearance in the original animated series, and the detailing is just as we would come to expect from all of NECA's animated series. He's kind of got that matte finish paint job that's supposed to give him that animated look, and you can really see that with the way they did the shading as well. So, you got that kind of shading with like the deeper green seen around the back of his mouth there, around the back of his arms, and then he's got all those black lines that are sort of supposed to look kind of like the animation there, really highlighting all of the details. Everything is outlined in black. It looks really, really cool. And look at the pants there. Like the back of them is basically painted black while the front is blue. It's again supposed to kind of be like that cell shaded type look. But it works really, really well with these. I think these figures do a fantastic job of looking like they just jump straight off of the screen. So one thing with Leatherhead that I noticed right away, right out of the package, is I appear to have a broken piece on the back of his belt. There's this little clip that I would imagine is for some of his gear. And the thing is like the belt is made of like a softer pliable plastic. This clip is made of a hard plastic. It looks like it was glued in place because I can see the glue residue there. But just by pulling this out of the package, I mean, this just fell right off the figure. I don't think it was attached all the way. And I can't just plug it back in. I'm probably going to have to take some super glue to it to glue it back in. So I would just be careful with this. If it's on the back of your figure, if it hasn't already fallen off in the package like mine did, be mindful of that because it looks like it's easy to pop out since it's a hard piece of plastic that's just kind of glued into the softer plastic of the belt there. Other than that, that's the only real issue I had as far as quality control goes. So let me show you guys the articulation on this guy. He's got that hunched over look, but there is a ball joint up there, so you can swivel the neck side to side. You can kind of hear it creaking there. The articulation's real tight on this guy. I'm just letting you guys know. You can open and close the mouth, which is really cool. You can see it's fully painted inside. Those teeth are just as sharp as the spikes on his tails, so you'll really feel that when you're opening his mouth. But yeah, you can open up the mouth there and close it, which is really cool. Also, the head does move up and down, which is really, really nice as well. You got those ball-like hinges at the shoulder, so they can go outwards, forwards, backwards, swivels at the bicep. You have a double joint at the elbow there. It's really tight at the top part, but yeah, still good range of motion. Swivels at the wrist. You got the hinge joints at the wrist, which are going to be really tight out of the box there. You've got just the swivel at the waist. This is all solid sculpt. So, you know what? Maybe the jacket's separate. I can't really tell. If it is, it's totally glued. Like, it's kind of pliable, but it really seems locked in place there. So, swivel there at the waist. You do have the ball-like hinges at the thighs. You can see kind of the pelvis there. So, not hindering that. It's really, really tight there as well. You can also swivel there at the thigh cut. You have the really tight double joints at the knees there. I do have a little bit of paint flaking off. That's a bit common with the NECA figures when you're articulating them around the first time. It's just like paint in the joints there. So it's not too bad. It's not really exposing any paint spots, thankfully. And then, you got those hinge joints at the ankle. You can also rock the ankle side to side. There's nothing in the boot cut there. Probably since he's not actually wearing boots. He's just kind of got like these... Isn't that weird? He's just got like these solid blue pants that just form into his boots. But that's what the articulation looks like on this guy. Like I said, real solid and real tight. But you should still be able to get some pretty decent poses out of him. At least what we've come to expect from NECA's TMNT toy line. Okay, so Leatherhead has got a whole bunch of accessories here. First of all, he does have some interchangeable hands. So you'll see out of the package, he does have fists. He also comes with a pair of open hands and a pair of gripping hands, with the right hand having a trigger finger. So if we want to switch those out, you just got to give a tug to the hand there. It pops off at the wrist. You can see I've peeled off a little bit of paint off that wrist peg. That tends to happen a lot with these two. But you can pop the new one in place just like so. And that way you can start arming him up with some of his accessories, which we're going to get into right now. And I want to start with this crazy shotgun thing that I believe's got like, I don't know, ketchup bottles or barbecue sauce bottles or something on the end of it. So here's the thing. The hands are very, very tight. They're kind of a hard plastic. And this gun is also a hard plastic. And it is really hard to get this in here. You might want to warm it up with a hairdryer to loosen up the hand to get the gun in place. Now, you're able to do it without, but I got a little bit of green paint scuffed on there as a result. So just be mindful of that. Now, you can get that placed in there. And if you use like the open hand for the left, you can even get some two-handed shots with this little shotgun thing with the ketchup bottles. Man, the rest of his accessories are so dang fun. So first of all, he's got a pair of lobsters, for some good Creole cooking there. So these are really fun. They're both the same sculpt. They're kind of like a softer, more pliable plastic, but they're really fun. Little additional accessory for Leatherhead there. And then we've got all of this amazing trapper type accessories. So we've got a bear trap here, which you can actually open and close if we want to trap it around the feet of the turtles. And then we've got this amazing little trap. It can clip around the neck of figures. So you can see how it opens and closes. It's got a real metal chain. This is perfect for throwing around the neck of, say, one of the Ninja Turtles, so Leatherhead can trap them up. Super fun accessory. And then look at this bonkers stuff. He comes with this really big, real piece of rope that actually has this slip knot in there, so you can tighten up this lasso at the end, so that way he can tie up the turtles as if he's trapping them. It is so freaking cool. I love this. And in addition to the rope, he also comes with this actual net. I mean, look at this giant net. This is really cool. And that way we can toss the turtles in there, and you've even got these strings on the end, so you can set a trap where they get hung from a tree, or you can tie them up. I mean, look at this insanity. Just some really amazing accessories, things you don't see very often with action figures, that NECA just really pulled out all the stops with Leatherhead here. Some seriously fun accessories. All right, so that brings us over to Slash, which is a much smaller, about 5.5 inches tall. So he's going to fit right in with the rest of your Ninja Turtles figures as far as his height goes. But also, if you have the video game Slash that came out from the Turtles in Timeline, it's going to fit right in with that too, because the body, a lot of these parts are reused, like the shell and everything we've already seen on that previous Slash, but we've got these new parts, especially with this amazing head sculpt that is supposed to make him look as he appeared in the original animated series. So I mentioned, like, you know, that original toy. I think the original toy is what everybody thinks of when they think of Slash, and why wouldn't you? It's one of the best toys in that original line. I freaking love Slash. But this is what he looked like in the cartoon. I remember even as a kid, I wondered why he looked at this. He was also really dumb, at least in the first episode that he appeared in, because it was all about his binky. So we're going to get into that here in just a bit. So we got that brand new head sculpt there. Again, amazing details. You can see everything's outlined in the black there to give it that animated look. You've got kind of like this bluish gray that's used for all the metal parts on there. The one eye is just kind of like got this yellow circle painted on there with the black outline. I love kind of like the big teeth hanging out of his mouth. I love the purple belt with the skull. I think that looks really, really cool. And then we've got the backpack on his back, which is from an episode, a specific episode. So really, really fun stuff. Articulation-wise, he's pretty much what you would expect out of the Turtles. You got that ball joint at the head, so it can roll all the way around. It can look left and right. You do have the ball-like hinges at the shoulders. They are definitely hindered, especially on this side, because of the armor hitting the belt over here. They can also move forwards and backwards. You got the swivel at the bicep there. You've got a joint at the elbow, which is really tight. Holy cow. It's just a single joint here, but it also swivels at the elbow. You got the swivel at the wrist. You've got a hinge joint at the wrist there. You know, the NECA Turtles do have articulation in the torso, like hidden under there. You can see how they can swivel the torso underneath the shell. You got the ball-like hinges at the legs there. Again, very, very tight on Slash. The legs can go outwards, forwards, backwards. They can swivel there. You've got double joints at the knees with a spiky pad right there in the middle. These spikes aren't as sharp as Leatherhead's. They're actually a little pliable there. And then the ankles there can swivel left and right, roll all the way around. They're kind of ball jointed there. So really, really nice looking figure. Articulation is on par with everything we've got. He feels nice and solid. Nothing really feels like it's going to break on here, but I do want to talk about this backpack. So the backpack was not on the character in his first appearance, but it was on the second appearance in the episode Donatello Trashes Slash, which is where he came back on the rocket ship and now he's got all this tech and he's super smart. This was super smart Slash with the British accent. Yeah, that's a real thing, guys. You need to go watch the episode. So that's where this backpack comes from that he's wearing. So here's the thing. I don't think it's meant to come off. I think you could probably take it off because this is a soft strap. It's not glued to him. You could probably stretch it off. I will say I think it's breaking on my figure down here because this bottom rung is not attached. It looks like it was supposed to be glued in because I can't get it back on there. So I'm actually a little afraid to pull this off. I don't want to snap that. So I'm going to leave that alone. But if you guys would rather have the Slash from the first appearance where he wasn't super smart, he was a little more dumb, I guess, you could probably slide this backpack off and get a more accurate look to that. So that's going to bring us to the weapons because from that first episode where he was kind of like the Slash on a rampage, we've got these two katana swords, which are the ones he stole from Shredder as he escaped from the Technodrome. So, you know, you can put both of those in his hands. You can arm them up there if you would prefer your Slash with these swords. They are very, very cool. They've got that same kind of animated look with the black outlines. And then the other things that come specifically from that episode is, first of all, little baby Slash. I love it. And he's all painted. Look at that. Like the belly's painted, the little spikes on his back. Even the face has got some good details. I love that we got little baby Slash. But most importantly, the palm tree, or as he calls it, his binky. Raw binky. So we've got Slash's Binky. It was very important to the character in the animated series. I'm so happy to see it included with this figure. Now, the other two accessories come from that second episode I was talking about where he had the backpack and he was more smart, because that Slash was really good at using tech. So he comes with this larger blaster, which has got some great paint deco. We saw him using this, like firing at Donatello in the animated series. It's got two handles. You can actually get him with some two-handed poses on it. Really, really cool. I love all of the colors on there. Really nice painted details. So very, very cool. And then his second accessory here from that particular episode is the Animalizer. So this is the little gun that he was using because he was going to turn everybody into turtles. That was his whole thing in that episode. He turned Vernon and Byrne into turtles, and he was going to use Channel 6 to turn the whole city into turtles. So we've got that as well. It's a bit hard to get him to hold it in his right hand. For some reason, he holds it better with the left hand. He can't quite get the finger through the trigger spot there, but it is still really cool seeing this extra episode-specific accessory included with Slash. And lastly, he comes with a half-eaten pizza. I love it because it looks like he's just been holding a whole pizza, chowing down on it. Really fun extra accessory. All right, guys, it's comparison time. Let's start with Slash, and the first thing we're going to do is stand him alongside that video game release from the Turtles in Time lineup, just so you can see the two variations standing side by side. See, that Turtles in Time one was much more like the vintage Slash toy, so you guys can see that there and see what I was talking about with the different head sculpts, but really does show you the difference between the two styles. And let's go ahead and show him standing alongside that vintage action figure from Playmates Toys, one of my all-time favorites, just so you can see what they look like side by side. And even funnier than that, we're going to stand Leatherhead alongside his vintage action figure, which that was one of the smallest figures in the original line, and this new Leatherhead's one of the largest in the NECA line. So there you go, my friends. There is a look at the brand new Slash and Leatherhead 2-pack from the folks over at NECA Toys. All in all, I'm very happy with this. Few minor QC issues with that clip breaking off the back of Leatherhead's belt and the backpack looking like it's breaking off a Slash. Be very careful with those accessories. Aside from that, everything else seems fine. The articulation is super solid, albeit a bit tight on these guys, but the paint jobs look really good, and the accessories on these are fantastic, especially all the accessories for Leatherhead, but I love all the episode-specific stuff for Slash as well. Really, really good stuff. So like I said, these are showing up at Target stores right now. Of course, we all know how difficult it is actually finding these in store. NECA did also do an open-ended pre-order for these for 1 week. It ends the same day I'm posting this video, so I'm sorry if I'm missing you guys. I'm doing my best to get it up there before it ends so that you guys can jump on it and not miss out. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button, leave me a comment, and don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, my friends.